join me. James, I'm very pleased to welcome you to Headbangers Ball, because last time in Birmingham you weren't very well, so I'm very glad to see you well today. How are you doing?
Yeah, better mood.
Good. Now, there were rumours that Metallica might headline Donington, although we heard that there wasn't a Donington this year after all. What are the pros and cons of headlining your own show rather than doing a big sort of famous festival like that?
Well, it's good to see that people are coming to the show because it's Metallica, not just because it's a Donington thing, which is an event in itself, you know. But it's good to see a lot of crazy people here to see, you know, the good music that's going on today.
Well, it's a great lineup. Everybody agrees that. When you were in the big arenas, you had the Metallica film. Now, do you think that these opening bands, the Almighty, we can hear behind us, do you think that they're an important part of the outdoor vibe?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The film wouldn't really work outside, would it?
Well, I mean, everyone's seen the film, and I've seen it, and it's, you know, we know what we look like, and everyone else does too now. So no, it's good to have some bands up there rocking and getting people happening out there.
Well, it's very good of you to allow bands to use the whole stage and everything. I think some of them are a bit...
What, they are?
No snake fit today, though.
No, that's our thing.
That's your thing. Right. Now the Metallica album obviously allowed you to get a lot of things off your chest, but your life has changed so much over the last 2 years. I was wondering, do those subjects and experiences seem to you like they're from like another era of your life?
Like 2 years ago or something, yeah. Well, all the lyrics on every album, like when you go back and listen to them or read them again, there's like a whole new meaning to the things. It might be something completely different, but yeah, I mean, I feel like there's something missing inside me now because I need to kind of create new stuff again, which we will probably be doing soon when we get back. So,
I mean, are these new songs from the Metallica album, are they still really fresh to play live 2 years down the line?
Yeah, definitely. I'll actually listen to the thing too. I'll put the record on.
And also, I guess playing live, they're a little bit shorter and maybe a bit simpler. Does that help as well?
Well, that definitely works better. I mean, it makes the set list look more impressive, you know? Wow, 20 songs now.
All right, well, July the 4th is the big day, the final Metallica show on this tour.
15 to go. I'm not counting, though.
So are you looking forward to the final one, or are you hanging in there?
Everyone's in a great mood. I mean, everyone can see the end. And so everyone is really hepped up. I mean, everyone, crew, band, the whole thing.
So you're going to have a big party on the final night?
You don't know us very well. Yes, of course.
But how are you going to switch off from all this Metallica activity? What are you going to do in your free time?
I don't know. It's going to be a bit scary, you know. We'll wait for the wake-up sheet to come under the door, you know. What do I do today?
You'll be waiting a long time.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll take at least a month to kind of wind down and figure out that you're really at home.
Do you feel like you've got roots at home?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Do you go back to that and like totally switch off and then come back?
Yeah, that's what I try to do. You go home and hang out with your friends and you know, shut Metallica off. But I mean, it takes at least a week or two to wind down from the damn thing, and then, you know, we've only been home like 2 weeks at a time, so there's no real time to kind of really relax, you know.
I do understand. So you were talking there about winding down for this break you've got coming up, but really right now you're winding up for tonight.
Hell yeah!
So, how are you feeling about tonight?
Oh, very good. I mean, everyone, like I was saying, is in a great mood, and you know, I think we got some pretty rocking bands going on here.
But it's great to see you in a good mood. Thank you very much.
All right. Good.
Thanks very much to James. And right now, we're going to show you a little bit of Metallica live here at Milton Keynes. Mr. James Hetfield of Metallica in a very sunny mood, rather like the lovely weather here at Milton Keynes. And now I'm very pleased to welcome Lars back to Headbangers Ball. How are you doing, Lars?
I'm very sunny too. No, we're all in a really good mood. When I woke up this morning, I was like, yay, it's finally here, let's do it, let's get on with it. And we came down here, we saw Diamond Head, watched a little bit of these guys, Almighty, which I'm sure you've heard of, and I'm in a really good mood, which is scary.
Good, good. Let's talk a little bit about the Metallica live show, because you're winding up the end of 2 years on the road. How do you feel that the band on the live show has progressed and developed over those 2 years?
Steadily worse. No, it's pretty much gone up most of the way. We're playing a lot better than we obviously were 2 years ago. We know what we're doing a lot more. We had a little bit of a period in like maybe February, March into early April where we were in a little bit of a lull, but we're now, since we started this European leg 3 weeks ago, we're playing probably the best we have in the last 2 years. We threw a couple of new songs in there,
Brilliant.
Moved the set around a little bit and so on. So right now I feel better than I have the last 2 years.
Brilliant. I'm sure you're winding up for July the 4th as well, the final date on the tour.
July 4th is now 4 weeks, 6
15
minutes, 12
shows.
seconds. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit. Have you had to compromise the staging and production in any way to accommodate these support bands today?
No, not really. I mean, the whole thing that we've been doing here for the last 3 weeks has been 2 or 3 support acts in every place, and we have some of the better things from the indoor gig, like the Snake Pit, and James has 46 microphones and all that stuff. So it's it doesn't really. We have some very good production people that move things around, and drums kits get shoved up where they're supposed to go, and it's all very smooth. And it's so we have our full production thing that we had with when we were co-headlining last summer with Guns, and we've added a couple things to it, but it's working really well.
But the Snake Pit's only open for business with Metallica, right?
That's yes. I'm sorry. That's
no, I think some of the bands were a little worried about all the ramps and the walkways and going out the front there.
Well, I can understand somebody who's never been on that stage before. It's like, what's this big gaping hole in the middle of the stage? Maybe we should put like a security net down there. But we've had the Cult and Suicidal with us in over Europe the last 3 weeks, and nobody's fallen in, nobody's gotten hurt, and it's working really well. So I'm happy.
Good, that's great. Will this show be particularly special for you, bearing in mind that Diamond Head are on the bill, and you've long been a great fan of the band and always spoken up for them? So
flying the flag, yeah, it's great. I mean, the fact that these two guys are standing over here clowning around, and I just saw them play for about 25 minutes was amazing. Also, I should say that last week when we played in Copenhagen, we had Merciful Fate, which was the other band.
Yeah.
The 3 bands that really influenced early Metallica was Diamond Head, Merciful Fate, and Motorhead. So the fact that we've played with all those bands now in the last few months, we had Motorhead with us on the Guns tour last summer. But seeing Merciful Fate last week open for us, Diamond Head today, I feel like I'm 12 years old, like a little punter running around going, yay!
Oh, brilliant.
It's great. It's really good. And it's a great day today, and it's just couldn't ask for a better setup.
Good. Well, there is some things we've got to talk about, very important things. Forthcoming live video and forthcoming live album and home video. Tell us a little bit about those.
Let's see, where do we start? I think the best way to is some of you guys out there might be familiar with a couple years ago Queensryche did like this little package, kind of a box thing that had some videos and CDs or cassettes, whatever configuration that you bought. That's the idea we're going with. We're not trying to do a single album, a double album, a single video, a double video, and another CD with a different cover and 3 other songs. It's like one package. If you want this thing, you have one option. You buy the whole thing. It's going to have about two. I'm seeing all these people everywhere. I know I'm sitting here waving to everybody. It's going to have a whole show on video from San Diego early in the tour, and about half hour of stuff from the Justice tour from Seattle in '89, of all the songs that we didn't play and so on this tour. And it's got a whole show on CDs and cassettes or whatever configuration that you buy from Mexico City later in the tour. And you can see it's 2 different set lists. It's 2 different, we're playing a lot better obviously as the tour moves on and so on. It's going to be, have the usual 712 live photos and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be the definitive live Metallica pack. It's not going to be so much for all the people that just know Metallica from, Enter Sandman or whatever, but it's going to be for the fans that have been with us for the last 12 years and so on. I think for them it's going to be something that they really get off on.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that a little bit more in the next segment, but right now we're going to show you a little bit more of Metallica as they are at their best. Here they are live.
Could be much more for the heart, forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. Never care for what they do, never care for what they know, and I know. This way, life is lies we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Just I see and I find in you every day for all something new. Open minds for a different view, and nothing else matters.
Lars is still with me on the Headbangers Ball, waving to all his friends backstage at Milton Keynes. There's a great atmosphere back here, actually. And Lars, we were just talking in the last segment about the forthcoming live album and accompanying home video, and you being such a knowledgeable rock fan, I'm sure you'll agree that a lot of live albums have been a pivotal point in some bands' career, like Kiss, Alive, and Deep Purple, Made in Japan. Do you see that with Metallica, or is it like closing one chapter, ready to start a new one?
I wish I could be that philosophical about it. It's just like, we've got all this stuff lying around in all our storage facilities. It's time to clean. No, I mean, on a more serious note, it's going to be a long time until the next Metallica record comes around. And I think that we just feel that it's a good time right now to just push some of this out. More people to wave to. Hi, Mick. How are you?
That's Mick.
That's Mick. Anyway, what was I talking about? Sorry.
You think it's important to clean out all your backlog kind of thing?
We just, we have so much footage lying around. We have all these shows from the Justice to all this stuff from the last couple of years. I just think that now is a good time. We really want to take a couple of years away from the spotlight. We really want to just be low key. We want, and so on. It just seems right now is a perfect time to just release this kind of thing. Like I said to you in the last segment, it's not something for, it's not like something we think is going to sell as many as the last. It's just
for the dedicated
fans. For the fans who've been there, and it's like our thing to them, and blah blah blah. And I don't think that necessarily maybe live albums mean as much as they used to. If you think back to the 70s, like you were talking about, your Made in Japans and so on. Now with the advent of videos and what kind of role that plays in it, it's just like, live albums per se, a live album just by itself. Nobody really does that anymore. It's always a live album and a video, and everybody always pays more attention to the video and so on. So I think we're trying to combine the best of both worlds and stuff like that by giving everybody different shows and so on. And hey, we're just doing ours. Hey, like I said, we're cleaning the attic out.
Now, you have been on the road for 2 years, which is a tremendous amount of time by anybody's standards. I mean, how have you managed to kind of keep your feet on the ground? Do you think that it seems to me that you've maybe got a little bit of a cynical sense of humor. Do you think that's helped?
Yeah. That's the best thing that I finally realize now why we are so cynical and why we have this very silly sense of humor. It's actually very British, as you can probably relate to, but I think it's to keep all the kind of seriousness a little bit at a distance.
Yeah.
If you let all this get to you and sit down and, oh, you know, one of the biggest bands in the world and 300 concerts and MTV and big stadium shows and all that, it can get a bit much. So we try and approach it all with a really, really loose attitude, and as you're saying, very sarcastic and very cynical. And I think at the end of the day, it helps us get through. I think it also pisses a lot of people off that don't quite understand our sense of humor and so on. But at the end of the day, it's what works best for us, and it's the reason that we can be out here and do this. And for any band to go out and play 310 gigs on a tour, you know, there have to be something wrong with them. And the fact
Well, your way of keeping sane,
I
really.
know it. I don't know. Without giving you all these corny stories about, you know, the road is really home to us and all this crap everybody else tells you, it just. I'm very happy that we're in a position where we have an album that's big enough to allow us to go out and play 310 gigs and to do 25 Milton Keynes across Europe and so on and so forth. And that's a situation that doesn't present itself to you all that often. So we're basically doing it here while anybody cares, because when we come back in 3 years with another album, I mean, who knows? It's so unpredictable these days. Maybe everybody will just say, yeah, Metallica, you know, next.
Not.
Well.
Anyway, very quickly, I know lots of fans want to know what is happening with your fan club. So many people are writing into us for an address. What's happening?
I thought I could get out of this clean. The fan club. Well, what happened was on the last couple of records there were some addresses printed that were some people that were appointed by the merchandising company to run these things that weren't doing good enough job. So we basically pulled it. We're in the process right now of trying to set up a fan club with people that we trust. I mean, obviously we get zillions of letters and it's very difficult to keep up with all of it, but we are in the process of trying to, when the tour's over, to sit down and deal with this issue. And like I said, we have somebody who we trust very much, who we're talking to right now about basically overseeing it and setting it up when the tour's over. So that's the latest I can give you now.
Okay,
So
and you'll keep us posted on that, I hope. Okay,
Absolutely.
now, as we said, July the 4th is the last day at the Torhout Werchter Festival. And then how on earth are you, of all people, going to put all this Metallica behind you and go back to living a normal life for a little
I
while?
like the way you say that. Me of all people, right?
Because it is your life, isn't it, Lars?
I have no life and I have nothing else. No, in all seriousness, I think it's going to be okay. I think the last few months, I've started to feel the way any other normal human being would under these circumstances, which is pretty burnt out. And the only thing that's really keeping us going is the fact that we get up on stage 3 or 4 times a week and play some really good shows. I think it's going to be okay. I mean, people that know me, like you're just saying, people, it's like, I'm going to take a year off. People start laughing in my face. It's like, oh, excuse me. But like I said, I'm in a really solid situation now at home, both relationship-wise and blah, blah, blah. And I feel ready to undertake this whole thing. I really feel that for the first time in my life that I can let Metallica go to the point of getting totally away from it for up to a year. But maybe we'll come back in 3 months and give you some new exclusive on some, you know, Metallica are playing 3 nights on the moon, you know, so I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. That's what I kind of caution everybody. It's like, remember, this is Metallica you're talking to, and it's like there are no rules other than Metallica rules, and whatever's going to happen, and whatever, if we take 6 months off, 9 months off, a year, if we take a year and a half, it's like whatever. We're in a position now where we have nobody telling us what to do, which is obviously a great situation to be in. So I feel really good about the next year or so. It's going to be nice to just have some time to yourself.
So have you been able to write anything on the road, or are you going to just leave it for a year or however long it feels right for and then get back to it?
Zero. That's what I was doing. Zero. Nothing. We're one of these bands that don't subscribe to the theory of sound checks. We've probably done, I'd say, 5 or 10 sound checks on this tour, and which means that we don't really jam all that much. You know, we sometimes sit in the tuning room, a little riff comes up here and there, but generally we don't really bother that much with all that. So when we've taken some time off, we're going to sit down and shift through all the stuff again and come up with 10 or 12 new songs. And right now there is really nothing. So that's all I can tell you.
that's the full story on Metallica as we speak here at Milton Keynes Bowl. Forthcoming live album, accompanying home video. Then when the tour finishes on the 4th of July, the band are going to take some time off, nobody knows how much, before they start getting back together again and start writing for the next album. So your thoughts about tonight, Lars? There's a gig a little bit later.
Oh, I thought I was just here punting around. It's going to be great. I mean, what can I say? Look at this day. It's been a great 3 or 4 hours so far. Like I said, I'm in a great mood. James is in a great mood. This is all very scary. So it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. There's 60,000 people out there. The fact that we can come back to England and play to 60,000 people in one go is incredible. So it's going to be good. I feel real good about it.
All right then, well thanks very much, Lars, for taking time to talk to us. It's great to see everybody in the Metallica camp in such a great mood to go with the weather.
I want to ask her something, okay? So what do you think of the Almighty?
Oh no, don't do that.
Oh, didn't you see him? They just played for 45 minutes. What have you been doing all this time?
I was interviewing Metallica.
You don't have anything better to do with your time than that?
I can't answer.
Anyway, we're signing off now from Milton Keynes. We're going to the, what's the next segment?
Well, actually, we've reached the end of the show.
Oh, we reached the end of the show, so
Yeah,
it's time
would you like
to...
to say goodbye?
Would I like to say goodbye?
Yeah.
You should go in and ask your husband how he's doing.
I would like to.
I'll sit here and talk to these guys, and
All right.
I'll close off.
Can I just tell you what's happening next week? We're in the studio, back in the studio. Hope you've enjoyed the show. I'll leave you with Lars to say goodnight. I'll see you next week.
Okay, see ya. Bye, now we got her out of the way. Let the fun begin. Anyway, I have a gig to do. I got to go up on stage in a few minutes. So it was good hanging with you guys, and we'll see you soon.